Hey guys, welcome back. If it's your first time on the channel, my name is Ryan. I'm a full-time reseller on sites like eBay and Poshmark. And I just kind of wanted to update a little bit of my new employee and kind of the warehouse. Rad Rob, he made some great points, and anyone in the comments, never be afraid to kind of say something or suggestions, because I'm learning along the way. I'm just sharing my journey along the way of this. I do not have all the answers. I don't claim to know everything. I make mistakes just like everyone else. I am far from perfect, and I will never claim to be perfect because I know I'm not. But he made some great points. He was asking questions, and in my last video of talking about the warehouse, honestly, I think I was just too excited to really talk, and it was kind of all over the place, and that's my own fault for not really going back and reviewing it. But also, I wanted to put out the video with my genuine reaction. So here's kind of the breakdown of everything. So the rent of it is going to be $610 a month. That's really not that bad at all, and it is 1,250 square feet. It is, the warehouse itself is going to be 1,010 square feet, and then the rest is the office and bathroom area if you watched that previous video. So 610 is for the rent, and then they pay the water, so you pay a flat water fee, which is going to be $55. So total is going to be $665 a month. I will have to pay electric, gas, trash if I want to, but like I was telling the landlord person, that I really don't produce that much trash, so I will probably just take it home. I think that's what I'm gonna do. She did suggest that you could talk to one of the neighbors there and see if you could work out and split a bin. So that could be possibly an option. I could talk to one of them and see what they think and see how much they're being charged as well. What's funny is the trash company that they're using is called Harley Holland, and I used to work for them as a roll-off driver, but I won't get into all that. I have pros and cons with different roll-off companies. I didn't drive them that long, but that is one that I drove for. So those are some of the expenses. Rad Rob, he did suggest or say something about if it had phone or internet, because commercial is more expensive than residential, and he's absolutely right. I do know that it does not have phone or internet. I think I don't really need phone, but for internet I will probably need internet for sure. But to start out, I might just use the hotspot on my phone, possibly. I have never actually really used the hotspot on my phone, so it just kind of goes to waste anyways. But I do know, if I'm hiring employees, I will probably need the hotspot, but the only one really using internet is going to be me. I do plan on hiring a photographer where they can come in and just take photos. That's why I'm really looking for just a digital camera. Everyone's like, well, I've asked so many Facebook groups, and they're like, well, I use my iPhone, I use a phone. But I want something that's there, that, it can stay there for the employee. I can upload them to the computer, and then whenever, the next day or so. And eventually I would love to get them where they can upload the photos, and then I can just carry them into the drafts. It's a progress. I would just want them focusing on photos, and then later on I want them to focus on photos and uploading, then photos, uploading, and maybe creating the drafts into Nifty. Nifty's just been so great with their AI creation. And then all I have to do is come in the next morning and look at whatever our quote is. Right now I'm pushing it from 20 to 25 listings a day, or not 25, 20 to 30 listings a day. And all I want to really do is just go through the drafts and proofread it to make sure it's all right, price it accordingly, and then post whatever we want. I really want to get to 50 eventually, 50 or 60. I don't know. It just depends when I do get this warehouse. I did get the email last night from the person. I do have to pay like the month up front, which is kind of expected. So I'm gonna probably meet with them tomorrow, I believe, to pay him the application fee, and then once it gets processed, which it shouldn't, I should get approved, there shouldn't be an issue there. Then I pay the down payment, and then when I'm able to move in, I pay the first month rent. So that's how that's all gonna go. I'm really excited to see what the inside is going to look like. And I'm already like picturing ideas of how I want the inside to look like, because the office, obviously, I'm gonna have at least one picture station. I would love to have two, and then I'm gonna have the computer. Death Pile Picker, I think he might have just changed his name, and I can't remember what it is, but he's been part of the journey for a long time, and I think he made a great point of like, oh, I could do Whatnot live shows in the warehouse, and that is a possibility. I don't really do too much Whatnot, but with that space, I could set up an area for Whatnot lives as well, for kind of maybe some lower tier, or just for clean outs. So I think that's actually a really good idea he had. There was another viewer that he's been a part of the journey, and I'm just recording this. I'm not kind of going back and cutting it, and I should really remember these people's like tag name. But he was saying he's had a warehouse and everything, but he was saying, or he's got a storage unit, but would love to get a warehouse, but it's kind of more expensive around him. And I totally get it. Most of the ones I was looking at, and even some of the ones I was looking at, the 950 and the 13, that's not that bad, but we're in Oklahoma, so I know if you're like in Los Angeles or somewhere in Florida, I know watching a couple of tech and sports videos, he was talking about how expensive some of it is. So I know I'm kind of fortunate to live in an area where it's not so expensive for it. And it made me also kind of think, I was scrolling through Facebook and I seen a thing on the Denver Post. I don't know why it came up. It came out as a promoted thing, but it was this Black Diamond Wilderness Exchange, I think it was called. And it's like in, I think, Denver or somewhere in Colorado, that exchange like ski gear, kind of a used ski gear store. And after 25 years, they're finally closing the door. And I don't really think it's a problem with like getting inventory or even selling, because like reading the comments, a lot of people are so supportive, but I feel like one of the biggest hurdles is like real estate. You see a lot of bigger companies buy their own like buildings, and then they go into it under usually a different name. So like Goodwill, they probably have like Goodwill Corporation, and then they have Goodwill Store that rents from their parent company, and then that's kind of a tax write-off. So that's how a lot of places do it. There's a movie called Founders, and it's about the McDonald's story, and how we're not really selling like, the McDonald's food, we're selling the real estate, is how it ended up kind of talking about. If you've never watched Founders and you're a reseller or in any kind of business, I highly recommend it. It is such a great movie, business-minded movie. I absolutely adore just the writing in it, and it gives you kind of a different perspective about like business and McDonald's. I love business movies. So if you do have a business movie suggestion, and I've watched quite a bit, like I love watching Jobs, I love different business-minded movies. So if you have a business-minded movie that you think I would really enjoy, please drop it in the comments. I really want to hear about like business-minded movies. I love them. They're so fun to me. I'm a nerd with that. They're cool to me. I really enjoy them. So the whole breakdown of the warehouse is, it's $655. I gotta pay gas and electric and possible trash, and then internet. I think it was Red Rob that also said something about like, is the warehouse heated, or not heated but AC'd? And there's only heat in the warehouse space, and it runs on gas, so it's gonna be a little bit more expensive. My dad was telling me, he's like, man, that's gonna be kind of expensive. I'm like, I guess we'll kind of see. I mean, right now I just have my inventory in 2 sheds, so they're not climate controlled right now. He was saying, and this is for anyone else watching that maybe didn't see his comment on my previous video, but like the glue on your shoes can kind of fall apart if it gets too hot. And that's a great point that I didn't really think about. I have had issues with like jerseys, because some jerseys that aren't like stitched, they're the vinyl ones, or even older t-shirts that are vinyl, that if they're folded over, because my clothes are folded over, that they'll stick together, and then you pull it apart and it just ruins it. So you do have to watch out for like really hot areas like that. So if you're around Arizona, Nevada, Southern California, New Mexico, Texas, Oklahoma, kind of the Southwest kind of area, it does get pretty hot in our areas randomly. So, and like today, I think it's like in the 80s, tomorrow's gonna be in the 90s, and then we're gonna have a drop on Friday to like the 60s. So it's all over the place. So that is such a great piece of advice from just really everyone. That's one thing I love about sharing my journey, is because I get all these suggestions from people and things I don't think about. And honestly, it's a lot of help. Let's be honest, I don't know exactly what I'm doing. I'm just learning along the way. I'm researching it. I'm putting in the effort to learn these things, and I enjoy it. I genuinely enjoy it. So that's the warehouse. We'll see how that goes. Tomorrow I'm going to be submitting, my application. So I'll let you guys know when or if I get approved, which would be great. It's a big milestone for me. I'm excited for it though, but I think it'll be really beneficial for me and the business. I also last night finally filed an LLC. I know you don't really need an LLC if you're a reseller, but for me now, starting to hire employees and things, I filed the LLC to kind of help with like tax purposes. I feel like it'll be beneficial for me. That's one reason. And it's like $100, and it was super easy. It took like 5 minutes to set, to file through Oklahoma's website. So it was pretty easy. Every state might be different, but it cost me $100, and it was fairly fast to do. So I think it's going to be worth it. And then also, if you have any suggestions on like kind of recording people's hours, I'm just using like an Excel spreadsheet, and they're texting me what time they get a certain place and so on. So I've heard QuickBooks is probably the #1 thing I always hear from people. So I might look at QuickBooks as a possible solution for that. My new employee, he's doing all right. He's learning. Like, he knew nothing. He was originally going to be like my photographer, but I decided he lives close to our Goodwill outlet, so he's going to just stay there all day. Or I say all day, he's only there for like 5-6 hours. But hey, that's a good amount of time that I don't have to be there. He hasn't really found too much like great stuff, but I feel like it's still worth it because we're getting about a little over 26 pounds. Yesterday we didn't even crack, I think we cracked 11, but it's like 1 to 10 pounds is $1.99 a pound. From 11 to 25 pounds, it's $1.79 a pound. And if you get over 25 pounds, it's $1.19 a pound on clothing. Shoes are a flat, like, I think $3 or something. It's not the exact. And then like miscellaneous items like toys and stuff are 99 cents a pound. So he's doing okay. 2 things he did find some Fall Raven pants. They did have a stain on them, but he found some Fall Raven pants, and he found some Vineyard Vine on the go pants. Those are probably 2 things he found that were like, dude, great job. And then the rest are just kind of like bread and butter, $20, $25 sales. So nothing crazy, but those 2 items were definitely great items he picked up. he's gonna still learn along the way, and hopefully it'll kind of pay off. I'm paying him hourly, so it's not too bad, just so he can get some cash inflow right now, because he wasn't working for a while. I'm gonna pay him like every week, and then we're gonna jump back to every 2 weeks, and I feel like that will be kind of beneficial for everyone. One, for me, I'm not having to do this taxes every week, and I can focus it on just like twice a month. So I feel like that will be good, or not taxes, but it's pay. So, but that's kind of the updates currently right now. Today is Wednesday, it's hump day, and I'm at Salvation Army waiting for them to open for half off clothing. So, well, if you made it this far in the video, I do appreciate you guys. Please comment below a business movie, or even another piece of advice that you feel like would help me on my journey, because I do read them and I appreciate them, because it is helpful, because I am learning along the way. So if you like this video, please give a like, and comment below something, even just to say hi too. Please subscribe if you want to catch more content like this. We will see you next time. Bye.